What do Al Capone, Kevin Costner, and alcohol have in common? Well, they all play an essential role in establishing the plot of The Untouchables. This film was released in 1987 and starred some of the biggest actors of the time, including Kevin Costner, Robert De Niro, and Sean Connery.
Just like that swing, this movie was a hit of its time, dealing with the prohibition and bootlegging in Chicago in the 1920s with Al Capone.
We meet the main character, Elliot Ness, who is played by Kevin Costner, when the Chicago Police Department brings him in to help crack down against the bootlegging caused by gangsters. After Elliot Ness's initial raid goes bust, he realizes it's going to be very difficult for him to find a group of people to help him crack down on the bootleggers and capture Al Capone.
After a very disheartening day on the job, Elliot Ness meets Jimmy Malone, who's played by Sean Connery, on a bridge and meets his very first acquaintance in the quest of stopping Al Capone in the bootlegging business in Chicago. Ness and Malone are met by the accountant Oscar Wallace and a young fiery cop, George Stone, in their quest to bring down Capone, and they form the group known by Chicago as the Untouchables.
The Untouchables' first successful raid was at an unlikely place, the post office.
The accountant, Wallace, informs Ness that Capone hasn't paid income tax for years. This is how the group is going to capture Capone by arresting him for tax evasion.
The quest to find Capone leaves the group the Untouchables with many tragedy and hardships. But you'll have to watch the movie to find out more.
With the Untouchables all-star lineup of Kevin Costner, Robert De Niro, and Sean Connery, they were bound to win a few Academy Awards. Unfortunately, they only won one, but they were actually nominated for 4. Sean Connery won Best Supporting Actor, and they were nominated for 3 others as well. Elliot Ness and Jimmy Malone each had a very unique variable adding to the plot. They were foils of one another. Ness liked to do things by the new and by the book, while Jimmy Malone liked to do things old school and just to get things done.
You're mucking with a G here, pal. You're gonna hang higher than Haman unless you cooperate.
This man can finger Al Capone. This man could put Capone behind
Why
bars.
don't you guys just fuck off? I'm fucking with you, Mr. Hardcase. We have to have that information one way or another.
Not that way.
You're gonna talk, eh?
Out.
I'm gonna be begging to talk, but somebody's gonna talk.
You dirty son of a bitch! Enough out of you.
Hey, come on, you. On your feet. I need you to help me to translate this book, huh? And I'm not gonna ask you a second time. I'm gonna count to 3. Well, what's the matter? Can't you talk with a gun in your mouth? 1. 2. 3.
I'm going to don't. I'm going to tell you whatever you want. What do you want to know?
That's a very interesting point, Ryan, but I'd like to talk about a different point of the film, a cinematographic point. Later on in the film, Ness and his partner Stone head to the train station where they have gotten a tip where they can get a man in Capone's crew. In this scene, it uses a lot of cinematographic techniques, including subjective shots, point of view shots, and slow motion shots.
Come on, let's get out of here. What the?
One very interesting fact of the Untouchables is the history that it included. In the 1920s, as we all know, the Prohibition was a very big thing. And Al Capone actually was caught for tax evasion, which the Untouchables did a very great job at revealing. Although that may not be the exact way how they caught Al Capone, I thought it did a very good job at showing what someone had to go through in order to bring down the big mob boss in Al Capone.
Although the filmmakers did a very good job at portraying the history of the film, they changed a few aspects for the integrity of the film. One of them being there was really 10 members in the group, the Untouchables, instead of 4 in the film. And that in the film, 2 were killed, but in real life, all 10 of them survived. Another aspect that the filmmakers changed was that in the film, Ness had a family and a child, but in real life, he was really a bachelor for most of the Capone investigation and was married 3 different times.
I'm Ryan. I thought the film was very good. The action scenes in it were very good, and how it portrayed the history and the whole complexities of what they had to go through to get Capone really interested me.
And I'm Jeff. I also thought the film was very good. I thought it had a good mixture of action and suspense, as well as good cinematographic techniques that the filmmakers used. The film kept the viewer on edge the entire time, which I really appreciate in a good film.
And on the pizza rating scale, we give it 7 out of 8 slices.